Hi, I'm David with ArringtonCoaching.com, and I wanted to ask you about conflict. Are you having any conflict on your team? Have you ever had conflict on your team? The answer to both of those questions is probably yes. And the have you ever is probably more emphatic. Of course, we've had conflict. The best leaders anticipate conflict, and I want to show you how in 3, 2, 1. Here we are. Hi, my name is Dr. David Arrington, and I'm an executive coach and a leadership trainer, and I help leaders just like you lead more effectively. What I want to talk to you about today is anticipating conflict. Conflict is one of those things like change that you can anticipate. You know it's going to happen. You just don't know what it's going to look like. You don't know where this conflict is going to arise. You don't know what's going to cause conflict to flare up, but you just know it's coming. You can anticipate conflict like you can anticipate the sunrise. It's going to show up on your team. It will happen. The problem for most teams and most team leaders is, 1, you don't know how to handle it. 2, you're not expecting it. You think everyone is going to keep singing Kumbaya and around the fire. And 3, you just want to avoid it at all costs when it does show up, hoping that it will go away. So with that mix, you end up creating accidentally toxic cultures, and we don't want that. What we want to do is we want to anticipate conflict. And this is something that great leaders do. Great leaders don't wait, sit back, and hope for the best. They set things in motion so that if and when these things do arise, they're already prepared. So how do you anticipate conflict? 1, you put in place some conflict resolution guidelines. So everybody knows what to do, how to do it, what's going to happen, and so forth. 2, you make sure that all of the roles, responsibilities, and the assignments and deadlines and all of that good stuff is crystal clear so that there is that one less moment for conflict. So people aren't just showing up to work thinking that they're responsible for something or that they're not responsible, and then they're not doing it, which also in turn leads to more conflict. So you want to put those guidelines in place. You want to make sure that everyone knows what their roles are, what their responsibilities are, so that you avoid conflict, or at least stem off some of the more common and easily triggered points of conflict. So with that said, I'm done for today. If you're enjoying this, drop a like, drop a comment, and definitely subscribe, because I'm going to keep doing these kind of videos. I want to make sure that you're having a good time and this is making sense. Don't forget to grab our epic 27-point leadership checklist. It's linked below. And this is David Arrington, your leadership coach, signing off. Talk to you tomorrow. But until then, make today count.